Hey guys, it's Washed Up Dota here with another video for you, featuring me, Amace, the most washed up Dota gamer of all time, ex-top 13 player. Today, we're going to be focused on the mid lane. I'm going to give you some tips and advice for how to play the mid lane. We're going to see a video of me and Viper, Puck against Viper. I get absolutely destroyed early on, by the way, spoiler alert. And we're going to go into what it is you want to do as a mid player in order to improve, what it is you're focused on, what your goals are. Okay, so let's just get right into it. Mid lane is probably the lane that has the most skill expression, and that's because it's a complete one-on-one. There's nobody to change the lane state. You don't regularly have people ganking. You know that the side lanes are going to be busy with their own lanes. There's two players. It's one-on-one. It's really just about who is better at managing their lane, who knows their heroes better, and who's really got a read on what the other player is doing. So you can see here the Viper is completely dominating me. You can see both in terms of net worth, but most importantly in terms of denies and last hits. 5-4 to my 2-2. He's off to a very strong start. I miss another CS. What you want to focus on in mid lane, few things. Creep kills, denies, harassing and pressuring, and lane management. Lane management is the position of where your and your enemy creeps are. Viper's doing pretty good. You want to put it up on your hill. That's what he's going to do here. My lane is going to push in. He's going to be able to keep his creeps here for a little bit. And that's exactly what you want to be doing. He's doing great. You can see his last hits are far superior to mine. His denies are far better than mine. He's absolutely crushing me here. That's what you want to be doing. You want your creeps to be over here. You want to be harassing me out of the lane just like this. You want to harass your enemy out of the lane. Deny your creeps. He's getting some harassing versus denying, which is absolutely fine. You can see it's almost unplayable for me. But this is a critical mistake. You never want to dive. He was doing so well. He was absolutely crushing me, and that one dive is going to give me enough space to slowly come back. I'm not going to do great by any means. I'm still recovering. He's clearly still winning the lane. 13 to my 4, 9 denies to my 2. But he really has given up his control over the lane. You can see his creeps are now on my side, and I'm able to keep it on my hill. I'm able to get experience now, get last hits. I'm able to crawl back a little bit of the advantage that he had established over me. And at this point, I'm not going to say recovering, but I'm certainly in a state where I can at least get some CS. So you have to know the difference in strength between your heroes. Viper has similar base damage to Puck, but he's got far more attack speed. He's got far more projectile speed, so it's easier for him to get these last hits. But what Puck has a nuke. Puck has the ability to jungle. Unfortunately, I don't really use that to my advantage here. I miss a lot of my orbs, which is not great. I'm saving it for the range creeps. I'm just missing. I'm playing poorly here. Viper really ought and is punishing me for my misplays. I could also be doing jungle stacks when I'm struggling in lane. I don't do that. That's a really common mistake that lower level mid players make. They don't do jungle stacks, which are one of the fastest ways to recover. Puck is decent at doing stacks because you can just illusory orb them over and over again without taking any damage. But we're going to keep looking at what happens. So again, I'm just going to repeat what I said. Guys, it's important if you're playing a mid that can jungle, if you've skilled in a way that lets you jungle, you've got to do stacks. If you're behind, it's the fastest way to get farm. It's the fastest way to catch up, especially if you're struggling. I decide to stay in because I think that the Viper has mismanaged his lane. I think that I can maybe force out more mistakes from the Viper, given that he's already dived once. But we're going to keep looking at what happens in this lane. You can see that the Viper is just completely crushing me here. I can't get anywhere close when the Viper is on me. He needs to focus on CS. Okay? He's got a couple of good hits on me, that's fine. He needs to pull the wave back. He wants to keep it on his side of the hill, not on mine. He's just aggressively pushing the lane now, which is fine. He's going to get the CS. I think he's going for a lane reset. At this point, Viper is trying to get some harass on my tower. But again, if you're ahead, what you want to do is you want to focus on denies. You see he gets a cheeky deny there in my tower range, which is absolutely fine. But again, he's pushed the wave to a point where now the creeps are on my side. Hopefully he gets a reset from his perspective. He wants to get a reset here so that he can pull it back to his wave. And he would be able to do so. And this is kind of what you want to do. You are winning mid, you're dominant, you want to keep things on your side, you want to harass whenever I try to come see. As you can see, he's over, definitely far more experienced than I have. He gets more harass in. He needs to manage the lane. This is a big mistake. This is a big no-no. You see, we have Shadow Shaman TPing, and we don't get a kill here, but we do force him to go back. His lane needs to be here. He needs to have his creeps here so that I can't see us. Instead, he's playing dangerously in a slightly different context. We might have been able to get a kill. You can see playing on my side means that my team can TP in. His team, I mean, there's a lot of space to cover if they do decide to come in and help. So again, what you want to focus on is CS. You want to focus on harass. You don't want to do crazy things like dive. You want to be consistent. Consistency is key. Make sure that you are getting your last hits. Make sure that you're pulling your creeps by right-clicking the enemy hero, which causes creeps to aggro onto you. Pull them to your ranged creep. Make sure that you're doing those things so that you can continue winning the lane. Don't do what this Viper did. And we're going to just take a look at another mistake he's about to make. At this point, I don't know if it's tilt. I don't know if it's greed. It's probably a mix of both. You see, he's going to go for me very hard here. He gets his Viper strike off, but I managed to pull him into my tower. I get a Dream Coil off. He's dead, and look at that. His advantage is completely gone. You can't do that. You can't play like that. Consistency is key. Keep that in mind. Hopefully this video gives you a bit of an idea of what to do mid. I didn't go into the hero specifics as much, but this was more of a general outline of what you want to focus on. Don't get greedy. Make sure you're focused on keeping the lane managed. Because as you could see, the Viper had such an advantage and he threw that away because instead of playing consistently, instead of playing conservatively, he played greedy, he dove. Now, all those last hits and denies that he still has far more denies than me, but I've completely caught up. And that's the mid lane for you. That's about it for the video, guys. I can tell you, if you want to see the full video, it gets to a point where I absolutely start crushing the enemy team. And that's really because I managed to catch up. It's all because the Viper played too greedy, and this is what happens when you let your enemy team look for an opportunity to get back in the game. Okay, best of luck in your mid games. Remember what I said: consistency, creep kills, denies, harass, lane management. Don't go for crazy kills unless it's a really lopsided matchup. Just focus on winning the lane.